Hello, it's Mark Torch here from Markham 3D, and today we're going to be creating this scene from start to finish. Now, it's going to be a bit of a longer tutorial. We're going to be covering modeling. We're going to be covering the guys floating in mid-air, just noticed. Oh, no, he's okay. We're going to be using particle systems. We're going to be using lighting. We're going to be using volumetrics. We're going to be using materials. So if you can, please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to that 25,000 mark before the end of the year, and that one little subscribe will help me out. So let's get to the video. Boop. So let's now kick off the project. Let's delete the default cube. I'm actually going to delete the light as well for now. Let's go Shift A, and I'm going to start off by adding in a cylinder. Let's go tab into edit mode, G to the Z. I'm going to move that up. Let's just scale that in like so. I'm going to press numpad 1 to go into front view. And let's scale on the Z axis. Now I'm going to make this lamppost probably about, so we've got 2 meters, and then we've got 3 meters. I think, we might go a little bit more. Let's just go GZ, scale. I think I've still got it a little bit thick. Well, actually, we might go Control R to put in edge loop. Bring it down a little bit with left click. I want to split it now. So I'm going to go Control B to do a bevel. And so now we've kind of got 2 sections. So now if I go Z to go into wireframe, and then we select everything down the bottom, we go box select. I'm going to click scale, S to scale, and then I'm going to do Shift Z. So it doesn't scale along the Z axis, only the X and Y. So let's kind of scale that out a little bit like so. And so it's kind of fatter at the bottom and then goes up. What I want to do is with this lamppost is for it to be kind of come around and go out a bit more. So let's go back into edit mode. I'm going to do box select and select that whole top layer there. From here, I'm going to come up on the left hand side and select the spin tool. If that's not there, we can just press T and that'll bring it in and out. And if we want the panel on the right, we just press N to bring it in and out. So from here, I'm going to shift right click to put in our 3D cursor. I'm going to press N to bring up our side panel. Let's go into tools. And I'm going to change the axis to the X axis, no, to the Y axis. So what I can do from here is the way the spin tool works is whatever I've got selected will spin around this 3D cursor. So if I've got it here, you can see that it's going to kind of spin in line with it. But if I had it all the way up here, we're going to get some funky results. So let's kind of just guesstimate, and we're just going to line it up in there. I'm just going to rotate it, maybe something like that. Let's go E to extrude. I'm going to press S to scale to make it a little bit thinner, like so. And then let's do it one more time. And so, that doesn't seem like it's in line, probably about here-ish maybe. Something like that. Let's just E to extrude on the X, scale X, just to make that straight. So we've got our lamppost, which is 2 meters, 4 meters, which is just over 5 meters high. So that should be enough for a truck, if you're thinking like that. So from here, what I want to do is I'm going to add in kind of like the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all this selected. I'm going to do Shift S, and we're going to go cursor to selected. So it's going to snap there. From here, I'm going to Shift A, and I'm going to add in a cube. Let's kind of scale that down. And then I'll press G to move down the Z axis. So I can go G, Z, and it's only going to move up and down. G, Y, G, X, and it's only going to move side to side. G, Y, it's going to be coming backwards and forwards, but because we're in front view, we don't see that. So it's now just kind of scale on the X. I'm not going to put in a lot of effort on this because we're not really going to be seeing this. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press number 3 to go into face view. Let's select our face. I'm going to Shift D to duplicate. Let's go scale, make it a little bit bigger. G to the Z, so it moves down, and I'm just going to E to extrude. And then I'm just going to delete that interior face. From here, let's just press B to box select, and we'll select all that. Control L to select everything that's linked. And then I'm going to do Control B, just give it all a bevel. And then I'm going to use the mouse wheel to scroll up. There we go. So we've kind of got this. Okay. Now I'm not too concerned that it's not connected. But if you want to be pedantic, we can probably go Control L, G, Z, and we'll move that all up like so. And so now it's all connected. Now let's go about making the street. So I'm going to make the street, I'm going to move the cursor back to the 3D origin, sorry, the world origin. So I'm going to do Shift S, and we're going to cursor to world origin, boop, and it's all the way down here. Let's go Shift A, and I'm going to add in a plane. So at the moment we know that this is 2 by 2 meters. So we've got 1 cube, 2 cubes, and if we're going off Blender units, that's 2 Blender units, or 2 meters. I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode, G to the X. Let's kind of move that over. Let's go scale Y, and I'm just going to bump it all the way like that. Maybe even a little bit more. There we go. From here, what we want to do is we will kind of want to make the curb, sorry. So I am just going to go number 2, and I'm going to select this edge. Let's go Shift D to just duplicate that edge, and I'm going to right click to put that back in place. And then I'm going to press P and separate that selection. So what we've got now is 2 separate objects. So I want to keep this as my ground, or my, let's go pavers. This bit here will be my curb. Now you can do this with the Bezier curve, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. Let's press A to select everything after going into object mode. I'm going to press GZ to move it down. I'm going to go EZ to move it up. Okay. Let's go EX, and we're going to move it by 0.2 of a blender unit. So I'm just guesstimating at the moment. Let's press E again to extrude, Z, and we'll go down another 200 mil. We can go a little bit, 200 mil. And then go EX, and we're going to move this over, and this is going to be probably about 300 mil. That's a pretty big gutter. Let's go GX. Let's go back a little bit. But what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to tilt this up a smidgen, because technically the way, if you look at a street, the water kind of flows into the gutter, and that's always got a little bit of lip so that the water sits in here. From here, I'm just going to press EZ and just blow that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything with A, and let's go back into front view. I'm going to press Control B to do a bevel and hold Shift. I'm going to bring that out slowly. So something like that. Okay. So now we've got our gutter. Let's just move the light over a smidgen. Boop. Okay. And so the light's going to be kind of sitting in grass. From here, what are we going to do? Let's make the road. Let's finish off the road. So I'm going to select this edge, Shift D to duplicate, P, separate. So now we've separated our road. So let's go curbs, and we'll just rename this to road. Oakley dokley. Let's go back into edit mode. I'm going to select everything. Where are you, sunshine? Whoops, into vertice select. Let's just have a look where that's sitting. So we know that the road won't ever sit this low. So I'm going to go GZ, and I'm going to bring it up roughly in line with this. And then I'm going to E to extrude along the X axis. So something like that. We actually might as well just make this a really fat road. I'm going to put in a few edge loops. And then what we can do is kind of select all this like so. And let's go GZ, and I'm just going to ever so gently tilt it up. Now, alternatively, what we could have done, oops, let's go like this. Oh my goodness. We could have, oops. So I'm actually not selecting everything, and that's because I'm in solid mode. So I need to be in wireframe mode, and then being in this view, I can actually deselect everything. So there we go, that one. G to the Z. Oh my goodness, there's one there as well. G to the Z. There we go. So that's all I've got. And so now the road's got kind of like a slight curve. So obviously when it rains, it goes into the gutter. Last but not least, I'm trying to think, what are we going to do with this side? We've kind of got two options. We can move the post more into the center here. And then if we don't want to deal with grass, we can just kind of put a brick wall along here. So it's kind of like the path. But what I'm actually going to use, I'm just going to use the scatter add-on and just put some grass there. So that's, you know, depending on how you want to do it. So yeah, I'm going to go with grass. Shift D, I'm just going to duplicate the our path, and let's go P, separate by selection. Select that. Let's go pavers, and I'm going to call this the grass. And then I'm just going to select everything. Let's go scale along the x-axis, like so. G to the Z, I kind of want that to be a bit lower. I'm going to grab this edge, G, Z, and that's going to be kind of like the edge of the pavers are there. All right, cool beans. So we've done all our modeling. Let's kind of, you know what, let's just leave it at that, because I kind of want to move on as much as possible. So let's now go into the next step, where we're going to create some materials. I would really like to just use PBR Extreme Combo. I'm just going to quickly do it, for instance, with the road. So what I can do is go into asphalt. I will do this manually as well, but I'm just going to quickly show you this. If you want to pick up PBR Combo, I do have a link in the description, and to be fully transparent, I do have an affiliate link. So let's go into asphalt. Do I have roads in here? No. Is there a road? Rock, rock, rock. Dang it. Street. There we go. And I'm just going to put this on there. Let's kind of go into this view. I'm going to press add to add a material. And if we have a look into material mode, nothing's happened. And that's because we actually haven't UV unwrapped it. So I'm just going to go tab into edit mode. Let's select everything. I'm going to press U to UV unwrap. And I'm just going to go smart UV project, oakley dokley, and we can see that our road's the wrong way. We'll do this in the UV editor, but all these options are available in PBR Combo. So if we come to UV editing, we can see that it looks wrong. So I'm going to select all that. Let's rotate by 90 degrees, and I'm going to scale along the x-axis. How does that look in material mode? That's not too, actually that's not too bad. That's pretty much on par. So let's go with that. I'm just going to leave it as is. For the concrete, we'll do concrete manually. Let's come over into here, and I've already kind of been looking for concretes. Which one did I find? So I think I might use this one here. So it's a seamless texture. Let's grab it. I'm going to just download it for free. Beautiful. And please download. So now we've got that there. From here, I'm going to go over into shading. And we're going to be just creating a very simple texture. Let's go into new. And we'll just call this concrete. There's no spell. Anyway, that's fine. Down here in the shading tab, I'm going to do Shift A to search. And then I'm going to type in image texture. Now let's just go open. And let's go find what we've downloaded. Today, date modified, this one here. And I'm just going to plug that into the diffuse. And obviously we've got the same problem we had before where it's not UV unwrap. So let's go into tab, select all that, U, smart UV project, oakley dokley, and it is there, but it is super stretched. And that's because it is stretched along this whole surface. So let's go back into UV editing, and we can see what our curb looks like. So I'm going to select everything. Let's just go scale on the Y axis. And as we come in, we should see that the stretching is going to get less and less and less and less and less. All right. So there we go. We've kind of got a curb. Let's go back into shading. What I'm going to do is bring down the specularity a little bit. It doesn't need to be that shiny. I mean, it can be, but it won't be. Let's go roughness and roughness to bring that up a little bit. I might leave it as everything else. I'm not too fussed. So let's leave it as is. The paving, just to save time, I'm going to use PBR Combo again. Let's go into street, paving, paper, cobblestone. Let's go cobblestone. Just checking it out. Let's go this one here. Let's add that one. Once again, that's all stretched out. Let's go into UV editing, tab. Whoa, Jace. Let's select that again. And let's go scale. Actually, we got to first scale it up because I want multiple kind of pavers width-wise. And then we'll kind of do it like so. And to me, that looks fine, but I think we can probably go a little bit more. Too much. There we go. So to me, that doesn't look too bad. I think we can probably scale it in a bit. Let's go GX. So what I'm going to try and do is line these pavers up here along the edge. And let's maybe just grab this edge here and kind of bring it like that. Because when you look at pavers, you're not going to cut every single paver in half. That's going to be stupid. So I've kind of just brought it all the way to the edge on this side and all the way to the edge on this side. Let's go back into layout with the lamppost. Let's now work on the lamppost. I will do this one manually because it's nice and simple. Let's come up into here. So I'm on textures.com. Do I have metal? I don't have any metal. So let's go find a metal texture. The metal. And we'll go probably galvanized. I don't know about you guys, but in Australia, most of ours are all galvanized. I'm trying to find a nice looking one. This one here doesn't look too bad. Let's grab that. Let's just download it. So it doesn't seem like it's a seamless texture, but let's kind of play with that then. So let's go over into shading, new, and we're going to call this one metal. Shift A down the bottom here, and let's go image texture, and I'm just going to plug that straight into the base. Open. Let's go into downloads, and it would be this one here. Let's go tab. I'm just going to use Smart EEVEE Project, and surprisingly enough, you know what? That's actually not too bad. Let's come over into UV editing, and we can kind of see where the post is. Let's kind of do this a bit better. Now, if you look at the post, I'm going to set up the camera like so. Okay, we're going to have all our eyes in the background. So I don't want the seam of the texture to be on this side of the lamp. So let's kind of rotate that around. And what I'm going to do is select an edge here, Control E, and I'm going to mark a seam. So now when I go and select this and go UV Unwrap, we can see how it's unwrapped itself. Now that's not too bad. I think we could probably get away with that actually. Let's have a look. Let's go back into... So that's not too bad. Let me just kind of scale that up. We can actually get away with that. And I'm actually fairly happy with that. Now what we could do is to get a little bit more of a cleaner UV unwrap. We could maybe even just select, you know, some of... Whoops, let's go just deselect. Some of that, and then some of this as well. I go Control E, mark seam. And because we weren't in wireframe, it's not going to go through the mesh. So we've only picked what we can see. So if we select everything, bring this all back in, you can see what it kind of looks like. Do we have a face down the bottom here? Let's just go delete face. Nope. So this is our problem up the top here. So I'm going to select this edge, right, Control E, and then mark a seam. So now when I select this, I go UV Unwrap. It helped a little bit, not as much as I hoped. So I mean, we could probably cut it even more around, but you know what? Let's just move on. So the UV unwrapping, it could be better, but for a single shot, I'm not too concerned. We can see that we've kind of got these flat pits everywhere. I'm going to press space, and then I'm going to type in shade, sorry, let's just go smooth, shade smooth, there we go. Or I could have done right click, shade smooth. But due to my muscle memory, I just search, because sometimes it's just a lot quicker. To me, that's looking fine. Let's now go about adding in some lighting. Well, actually, sorry, let's quickly do some grass. There's plenty of grass tutorials out there, so I'm not really going to be covering it in this one. What I'm just going to do is just dump in the scatter add-on. So let's select our plane, scatter. Whoops, sorry, let's select our biome. And I kind of want some short grass, so probably this one here. Do stuff for me, please. And that'll hopefully add in a whole bunch of kit and boodle. Beautiful. And so now that's brought in our grass. For now, what I'm just going to do is hide all that because I don't need it slowing down my render at the moment. Let's start maybe fixing up the camera. What are we actually going to be seeing? G, rotate Z. I can go rotate XX. We're too high. So we want something like this. Rotate to the Z. Rotate XX. I want to see the whole lamp because we kind of want that illumination. Done. So we've set up our camera. Let's kind of do our lighting now. So I'm going to shift right click and put our 3D cursor there. So that when I go now, shift A, we go into light and area. Okay. Let's kind of go into render view. And we are currently in EEVEE. I want to do this in cycles. So let's go into cycles. And the reason why we're not seeing any light is because our light isn't strong enough. It's only 10. So if we bump this up to about 500, we can see that the glow goes all the way down. I'm going to make about 200. All right. And so to me, that's fine. But the problem is I want to see if the light's actually hitting the edge. Because if it's hitting the edge of the map, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the ground, then we got problems. So let's now go into the world settings. And what I'm going to do is change our surface of the world from gray to black. Okay. And now if I go numpad 0, let's turn off this thing. We can see that we've got an edge. Now, luckily enough, the way we scale the map, we can select all this, these three here. I can just press G and Y, and move it up. Because now if I go into camera mode, we're not seeing that. So, whoops, went the wrong way. There we go. Now if we press F12 again, let's have a look. Lovely. So we only see this tiny little bit. Where is my grass? Let's select that. I'm going to turn these back on. And we're going to do a quick render to see what it looks like with the grass. Hopefully the computer doesn't die. Not too bad. We didn't make the ground green. So that's kind of like one of the problems. So let's come back in. I'm just going to select the plane. There we go. Let's go into biomes. Scatter. Let's go into material. And I'm going to add this material. Did you do it? Beautiful. And now that's going to resolve that issue. So let's go out of rendered mode and back into here. One thing I'm going to do is actually come up back into the lamppost. Let's just move it down. Actually, we'll select both the light and the lamppost. I'm just going to move it down a smidgen, just to make sure that lamppost is actually in the ground. Let's select the lamppost. I'm going to press tab to go into edit mode. And I'm going to select this little bit that we made the light. So this is where kind of the actual light is meant to illuminate from. Let's go into material. I'm going to create a new material. And I'm just going to call this, whoops, let's click on new. I'm just going to call this light. You can do this, light. I'm going to change the principal shader, which is what we've been using, to emission. There we go. The color we'll leave as white. I'm just going to leave it as 1. We actually might make it slightly blue. So it's kind of like an LED. So let's go into rendered view. One thing I forgot to do, as always, is I forgot to assign that mesh to our light. And now you can see that we've kind of, that's the illumination there. Good, 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 good. I'm happy with that. We've got this light here. I mean, we can make this one even slightly blue. So that's not too bad. From here, we've got our lighting sorted. We've got our lamppost sorted. We've got our roads. So our scenery is pretty much done. Now let's go about creating those eyes. So let's go back into solid mode. I'm going to press Shift S, cursor to world origin. Let me just hide all that grass for now because I don't want to see it. So let's go about creating those eyes. I'm going to do Shift A And let's add in a mesh, a UV sphere. I'm just going to go GZ and just move it up just so it's away from everything. Let's press numpad 1 to go into front view. Let's press tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to rotate X 90 degrees, sorry, Y 90 degrees. And then I'm going to grab that point. I'm going to press O to turn on proportional editing, or I can come to the top here and turn it on. And let's go G, and I'm going to kind of grab it so it's like this. Like that, and I'm going to select that, Shift D to duplicate. I'm going to move it on the X-axis, rotate Z because I want to rotate on the Z-axis 180, and there we go. We've got our eyes. Very simple, very quick. Let's now assign a material to it. So let's go new, and I'm just going to call this eyes. We're going to change the principal shader to emission. And we're going to make this a nice red. Let's go 3, so we'll make it really bright. And then if we go into rendered view, we can see that we've kind of got that. And you can see it's illuminating over everything. So maybe 3 is a bit too much. Maybe we just go 1, so it's still very visible. From here, I'm going to go back into solid mode. Let's go GZ. Sorry. Let's select that and go GZ. Move it down so it's under the ground because we don't really need to see it. From here, I'm going to add in a cube. Now, this cube is going to be where all our eyes are going to be spawning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this back. Let's go GZ. I'm going to move it up. Now, in my initial tests, I actually had this sitting really low. But what it looked like it was that the eyes were on the ground, which is not what we want. So I'm going to go into edit mode. Let's scale along the X-axis. We'll scale a little bit on the Z. I'm going to press O to get out of proportional editing. From here, let's press tab to go back into object mode. Let's go into particle settings. I'm going to create a new particle. Emitters. I'm just going to make about 100. So I'm just going to have maybe 100 lights. That might be 100 eyes. That might be a bit too much, but we'll see. So when does it start? Frame 1. So we're spawning all 100 eyes. Let's go into the source. And at the moment, if we were to press play, all these things would kind of like jump out. But because we're not doing an animation, I can leave it on frame 1 and it's going to be there fine. So at the moment, they're all going to be spawning around the face. I mean, we can do that, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make them spawn in the cube. So it's going to be in the volume. Distribution is random, which is fine. Let's kind of do this. Now I've got to think a little bit. Do we go rotation? I don't think we do. Okay, so at the moment we've just got dots, and that's because if we come down into render, we've got rendered as halos, and that's what halos are. So let's select that, and let's go into object. Where are my eyes? Right there. Let's use the instant objects, which is this. And we can see that the eyes are all in different rotations. So let's go object rotation. Boop. And that's not right. Let's turn off this rotation. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Object coordinates? No. Uh-oh. So some of them are fine. Some of them aren't. So I'm just kind of going through scale randomness. We want randomness. We don't want to show the emitter. Rotation is fine. Extras is fine. Object rotation. Why is it being a jerk? Oh boy. None. Oh, there we go. So I've changed the rotation from velocity hair to none. Let's now go rotate Z 90 degrees. Control A. And we're going to apply that rotation. And there we go. Now we've got our eyes facing the right way. So if we go into rendered view, we still see our box, which is semi-fine. Let's go GPU, just to make sure we're rendering with GPU. I'm going to press F12. Let's just have a quick look. There we go. So now we've got all our eyes there. We got way too many eyes. So let's get rid of some of these eyes. Let's go back into our cube, into our particle settings. Number, let's bring it down to 50. Let's press F12 and we'll check this out to see what it actually looks like. Yeah, to me that's a lot better. One thing I don't like is this path. So let's kind of maybe do a little bit of work on that one. I love the lamppost where it's only a little bit of light shining down. So I'm going to press escape on that. What we can do with this, let's just try it. I'm going to press Control R to put an edge loop on the pavers. Let's use the mouse wheel and kind of just scroll up a little bit. And then I'm going to put in here. Let's maybe select a few points. Rather than left clicking on some random ones, what I can actually do is I can press space to search, or F3 or FN, F3 if you're in a laptop, and I can go select random, and then we come into here. I don't want 50%, I want maybe 2%, maybe 10%. From here I can go into proportional editing, and I'm going to go random, and let's go GZ. Scroll that up, and so what we're doing is we're kind of breaking up that plane so it's not flat but kind of a little bit all over the shop. So hopefully now when we render that, so if when I go F12, the pavers aren't actually going to be straight, and we can see that they're a little bit crooked. They're kind of coming up in places, so it kind of breaks that like repetitiveness. This concrete here, not a huge fan of that. I think we might shrink that down a little bit. The road looks fine. So let's go with this, and let's come into UV editing. Let's maybe, ooh. Yeah, to me that's a lot better than that one there. All right, so we've got pretty much our main bits. We've got our eyes, we've got our light, we've got our ground all in, but I kind of want to give the scene a little bit extra. So I'm actually going to throw in a character. Now this character here is from Reallusion's Character Creator 3. I hate character creation. Character Creator 3 does what I need it to do. Fortunately, I don't have any affiliate links, but anyway, that is a really good program. So let's go import FBX. I'm just going to go into my D drive, my temp, character test worker. Please don't be a jerk and actually just come in. Green cup. There we go. Alright, so from here, let's grab our buddy here. Let's go G, X. And what I might make him do is, let's have him standing like so. Let's go G to the Z. And he's going to be standing like that. Let's give him a bit of a pose. So let's pose him. With the rig selected, I'm going to come up here into object mode and select pose. What I can do is come on the right hand side here where it says armature. We can go visual display and in front, so we actually see the armature in front. And let's kind of repose him. So he's going to be kind of like this. Whoops, let's go 1. And then we'll select his elbow. Oh geez, buddy, don't break your elbow. Okay, and then let's go rotate YY. And then from here, what is this arm here is going to be kind of straight. His back will be kind of hunched over, as we all are when we're looking at a phone. You know what, buddy? You can have your mouth open a little bit. Let's go like so. Let's go with the shoulder. I'm going to bring it around a little bit. Here, come on, buddy. Let's go like so. Why does that look weird? Just seeing, where is his elbow? Let's kind of maybe just drop his arm a little bit. I think that's what might be a little bit funky. So we'll drop his arm. Let's go rotate XX. So this rig here, because I've played around with it quite a bit, I know a lot of the quirks. And so for instance, this bone here, if I go G, you can kind of see it move stuff around like that. I don't need that one. Yeah, there we go. Come on, buddy, you got to be relaxed a little bit. You're not the T1000. Oh, get stuffed. That one here. So something like that. Let's maybe just give his leg a bit of a rotation. Oh, gosh. So there's so many extra bones in this rig, which is, you know, it's fine. And you can have your feet like so. Alright, cool bananas. We've got a little bit of shirt protruding here, so let's go into object mode. Let's select our shirt. And I'm going to press wireframe, C. Let's select all that. Delete vertices. Like so, beautiful. We've got in here a smidgen. Let's go into wireframe. Going to C to select all that. Let's just go scale on the y-axis to bring it in. There we go. So that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I think I've done something wrong here. Let's go into pose mode. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, cool. Control Z, Control Z. There we go. So now what I need to do is set this as a keyframe, because when I've imported the character, it's already set a keyframe. So to set a keyframe on an armature, I'm going to press I, and location, rotation, and scale. Let's just dump that in. There we go. So now when I go into tab, whoops, when I go into object mode, she'll be right, mate. So what I've done here, I think this is still wrong. Dude, bring this arm down. Bring kind of like this. Rotate XX. No, sorry. Rotate XX. Seems to be a little bit off. Not going to be too concerned. Ugh. Actually, let's go rotate. What's the best way to hide this? Let's go like that. And then from here, let's just quickly kind of bend his fingers around. So I'm just going to press C, grab all them, rotate XX. Whoops, YY. Nope, ZZ. There we go. C, let's deselect them, rotate ZZ. And we've got a problem. So what's actually happening is it's not rotating around the individual bones. So let's come up to the top here, and I'm going to go individual origins. Yep. Rotate ZZ. There we go. Let's now go C, deselect them, rotate ZZ. There we go. So that's fine. I'm just going to maybe rotate. Oops. There we go. I get stuffed. Let's go into object mode. I think... Jeez, this is annoying me. Oh, let's go rotate YY. Maybe something like that. Yep. And then we'll do the same with these fingers here. C, rotate ZZ. And then we'll go C to select, deselect them, rotate ZZ. Alright, cool beans. Let's now just quickly put a dummy phone. So I'm going to go Shift A to add in a mesh. Let's go cube, scale by down. With an animation, I would have just parented this to the hand bone. But because I'm not doing an animation, I'm not too concerned about it. Let's go rotate. Whoops. Scale XX. Sorry, YY. ZZ. There we go. In there. Something like that. And obviously that's going to be hidden. Far out, I cannot get this hand looking right. This is starting to get really frustrating. Let's go like that, rotate YY, XX, yeah, there we go. Alright, whatevs. I'm over it. Let's continue on. Put that like so. Let's maybe make that a little bit thinner. And I mean, you can see that it's protruding from his hand. Whoops. Which is fine. Let's give the phone itself maybe a black material. It's going to go new, and we'll just make that kind of a black material. Let's go specularity all the way down, roughness all the way up. I'm going to press Shift S and put in a cursor on that point. Shift A. Let's throw in a light area. Okay. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to align it like so. Let's make it a little bit smaller, or super small. Yep. And now if I go F12 and then we go into render mode, hopefully we've got this nice blue glow, which we don't. So let's give it a nice blue glow. Let's go maybe just 1 watt. And your eyes, buddy, what are you looking at? Let's fix his eyes so he's actually looking down. Select the armature, pose, and then I'm going to rotate XX. There we go. So that's a lot better. I think we need to rotate his hand a little bit more so we can kind of see that he's looking at his phone. Oops, come on. Rotate ZZ. Oh, jeez. Let's go. Shift S, cursor to selected. Let's go into object mode. I'm going to select our phone, our light. Oh my goodness, come on. There we go. Let's deselect this. Let's rotate Z around our 3D cursor. Where is our 3D cursor? Oh, it's over there. Fine. Let's just do it manually, and let's just go G, rotate Z, so it's something like that. From here, I'm going to select this, Shift S, cursor to selected. Let's now select our phone again, not the pole. Oh gosh. C. Select the armature there. Now I can come into our 3D cursor, rotate Z, bring it around like that. So the slapping of the face is I forgot to set the keyframe when I redid the hand. So maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time. I'm going to press the record button so it just records. Oh, far it's moved everything back. I hate you. Rotate Z. Let's bring it around like that. His hand now is stuck in there, which is no good. Let's get our light. Gotta love it. Where's my light? Oh, gosh. Can you... Come on. Oh, you jerk. There we go. And we'll select our phone. Let's manually put it into location. Rotate. Oh, gosh. There we go. Something like so. How's that looking? GYY. GXX. That's fine. Let's just repose this hand once again. I can press the period key on the numpad and that'll zoom in. Let's go rotate. Sorry, rotate ZZ. Individual origins. ZZ. Oh my goodness, rotate ZZ. There we go. So we've kind of got that hand now gripped around. Let's go C, select all that except for that bone. Rotate ZZ. There we go. Rotate ZZ. Rotate XX. Okay. How you looking, buddy? Let's get your eyes looking down again. Rotate XX. There we go. Rotate YY. Nope, wrong bone. Rotate YY. That's not too bad. That's looking a lot better now. And we've got the record button, so now when I go into object mode, everything should stay. You little, oh my goodness. Let's just go G. I'm just going to plop that in your hand. There you go, mate. This light is impossible to get. GZZ. GZZ. GYY. Alright. Let's now check this out. F12. How's that looking? I think like this lamppost is correct. It should be over the street. However, for this shot, that top bit should be, I reckon, more over the character, artistically wise, if you know what I mean. So let's select this. I'm going to press tab to go into edit mode. Let's select, we'll go into wireframe, box select. Oops, I got proportional editing. Let's go G. I'm just going to move it down like so, and then we're going to bring this light and plop it there. Let's press F12 just before we do the final finishing touch. Excellent. That is looking much better. Now, the finishing touch. What we're going to do is Shift S, cursor to world origin. I'm going to go Shift A, add in a cube. Let's blow this cube up a little bit bigger. Doesn't really matter. Let's now go into shading. Let the computer think a little bit. With the cube selected, I'm going to create a new material. I'm going to delete the principal BDSF. Shift A, I'm going to do volume, principal volume. And now you're going to see kind of like it pretty much go black. I'm going to change the density to maybe 0.05. And now let's press F12. And hopefully it's all good. That looks kind of cool. I think this pole might be a little bit too thick. Or this section here is a little bit too thick. So let's fix that. One final touch before we call it quits. I'm going to here, Control L to select that, and then I'm going to press B to box select and deselect all that. Oops, let's go into there. Ah, geez. Let's press now Alt S and kind of do it like that. Yeah, there we go. I might even just go C and deselect all that. Alt S. And then while we're at it, yeah, let's make this bit here a little bit smaller as well. Scale, Shift Z. And now let's just have a look at that, see what it looks like. Freaking much better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really high quality render. I'm actually not going to use the last problem. So we can see our light up here isn't the same size as this light. So let's kind of escape on that one, and we're just going to quickly redo this. I'm going to scale, scale, and just kind of line that up. So it's the same size. Let's press F12 and just make sure it's the same size now, just to see what it looks like. All right, so let's now render it at high quality and we'll go from there. So if you like this video, please once again make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps me out and keeps you up to date with my content. If there are any other kind of videos, why am I doing this now? And there we have it. We've created our image. It's turned out pretty good. I'm very happy with how it looks. Once again, if you're still here, thank you very much. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and keeps up to date with my content. And if there's anything else you want me to work on or anything else you need more information on, please leave a comment below. And until next time.